A style defines the segment length rules that are applied when creating or editing a route. Autodesk Inventor Professional includes default styles for common tube and pipe standards, such as ANSI, ISO, DIN, and GS. It also provides flexible hose styles based on standard Parker hoses and fittings. You can use one of the existing styles, create a new style from an existing one, or build your own style using published conduit parts and fittings. Inventor tube and pipe styles are separated into 3 categories: rigid pipe with fittings, tubing with bends, and flexible hose. A rigid pipe style controls the rules and properties used for rigid pipe segments that are connected with elbows and couplings. The way a route changes direction depends on the elbow settings defined in the style. Every rigid pipe style must include a 90-degree elbow. It can also be set up with 45-degree elbows or custom published elbows with specific angles. If a straight route segment exceeds the maximum length allowed by the style, Inventor adds the coupling defined in the style so that multiple pipe segments can be joined together. Rigid tube styles are different from rigid pipe styles because tube routes do not use elbows. Instead, the bend radius of the tube is defined in the style. After a bend is created, its radius can still be modified if needed. A flexible hose style controls the rules for creating a spline-based route between a defined start point and end point. The route uses a single hose segment to connect the start and end fittings. If fittings are suppressed in the style, the hose connects directly between the start and end points of the route. The style also specifies the minimum bend radius allowed for the spline and a roundup value for the hose length. This roundup value converts the actual spline path length into a practical hose length that can be used for manufacturing or ordering. After opening the assembly file, go to the Tube and Pipe tab on the ribbon and select Tube and Pipe Styles. The Tube and Pipe Styles dialog box will open. The toolbar at the top provides tools for creating, copying, editing, importing, and exporting styles. To create a custom style, you can either click New or copy an existing style that is similar to what you need. If you want to create a new category, create a new style and enter a unique category name. After the style is saved, Inventor will automatically create the new category. When you use New or Copy, the new style is created under the same category as the currently active style. The active style is shown in bold text. If you copy an existing style, the new style appears directly below the original one and includes _copy1 at the end of its name. You can rename it as needed. The new style opens in a dialog box where you can define its settings. Start by entering a style name and a category name, or keep the existing category name. Categories can be used to organize styles by material, pressure rating, fluid code, or any other standard used by your company. Each style within a category can be named according to your own preference. A good naming method is to include information such as size, material, specification, and end treatment. Next, specify the base fittings for the style. Decide whether the style will use flanged connections, butt weld connections, or other fitting types. If the style needs to support flanged valves, fittings, or instruments, enable the flanged option. This allows Inventor to automatically insert the required gaskets and mating flanges when flanged components are placed. The butt weld option provides additional settings that can be adjusted later. The required fittings depend on the option selected. If no special option is selected, you need to define the pipe, coupling, 90-degree elbow, and 45-degree elbow. For a flanged style, you need to define the pipe, 90-degree elbow, 45-degree elbow, flange, and gasket. For a butt weld style, you need to define the pipe, 90-degree elbow, and 45-degree elbow. These components must already be available in the Content Center. The required fittings may vary if you are using custom elbows or self-draining styles. To select a fitting, double-click an empty field next to the required component. The library browser will open and filter the results based on the fitting type you are selecting. You can narrow the results further by applying filters and clicking the filter icon. After completing the general style settings, go to the Rules tab. Here you must define the minimum, maximum, and increment lengths for the pipe or tube segments. The maximum length is usually based on the longest standard pipe or tube length available for purchase. The increment value controls the length step used for generated segments. For example, you can set the style so that pipe lengths are rounded to the nearest half inch. If butt weld was selected on the General tab, additional options will appear on the Rules tab. You can specify the weld gap between pipes and fittings based on your welding requirements. This helps produce accurate cut lengths in the bill of materials. You can also choose whether the gap is displayed in the model. For styles where flanged connections are available, but not the only connection type, the coupling type option becomes available. This lets Inventor place a pair of flanges and a gasket wherever a coupling is required, such as when a pipe segment exceeds the maximum length defined in the style. Once all settings are complete, click Save to create the new style. If you entered a new category name, the category will also be created. After creating one style in a category, you can copy it to create additional sizes or variations. Then, simply update the size settings and rename each style as needed. This is an efficient way to build a complete family of tube and pipe styles. The export and import tools can be used to transfer tube and pipe styles or categories through an XML file. These XML files can be edited outside Inventor, but this should only be done if you are familiar with XML structure. The import and export tools are also useful for sharing styles between computers that do not use the same server. You can export the style, copy the XML file to another machine, and then import it into Inventor.